right, while the forge is heating up, we're going to look at what we're working with. This is solid copper. This one's 12 ounces and some change. We are going to turn this beautiful ingot into hopefully a bearded copper axe. Just a little guy, but kind of fun. These are really fun to make, and people seem to like them, so I've been enjoying them. So my plan here, we're gonna true this up a little bit, and then we're gonna squash one side, and I think I want to do that before I drift the handle hole, the eye of the axe, and I think that'll set us up to be able to pull a beard down. And overall, I'd like this one to kind of play off of the Viking bearded axes, but we'll see how it turns out. Got to let the metal speak to you a little bit in the process. Good for now. So on camera it's probably gonna look like I'm working this really cold. You work copper a lot colder than steel anyway, but I've got a lot of lights on. It's really bright outside right now, so I can tell just by the way it feels under the hammer that it's still pretty hot, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume it looks pretty gray. If I didn't know any better, say I probably don't have the right tongs for this. But we're gonna make do. Oh, so close. One hit too many. We were just a little canted right there at the very end, and I have found through making several of these, even though it would be really easy to straighten that out when it's a little bit hotter, just your piece comes out a lot cleaner. You're a lot more consistent whenever you clean up your work and you put it back in the forge when it's nice and straight. I thought that it would just be easier to straighten it when it was hot, but I found that it was just, I was chasing corners the whole time, or chasing straight lines the whole time, instead of actually getting any work done. Start to drift this. Try to keep this as straight and as centered as possible. It's pretty good. Good start. On that first heat, we just want to make sure that we're going in the right direction, and that looks pretty centered. So just using a hammer punch on these, since they're so small, trying to get in there with an axe drift, you can see where it gets out of hand really quickly. So for the most part, I just use these little hammer drifts and they come out great. Good grip. We're almost all the way through there. Little mini Harbor Freight anvil I don't really mind cutting on. You see we're almost all the way through. You can kind of see a little bit of the outline. I think we're right there. Thinking I'll probably cut through on the other side. Let's heat it up just a little more. We're through. Pretty nice. We'll get it back in the fire, get it heated back up. due to the nature of this style of axe, we're going to work with the eye inverted just for a little while, so it's just a little easier to hang on to. If I had to drift it the other direction, trying to keep this beard in the right place would be a lot harder. So we switched hammers to this smaller cross beam here, and I'm going to start to pull this down and hopefully open this up a little bit. I'm also going to work the outsides of the eye. Terminology escapes me. But we're going to try to pull this down too. Just overall, the whole axe head is going to try to open up just a little bit here. Ugly little baby right now, but we're going to start to clean it up a little bit. Part of the things that we're going to do, we're going to drift from the other direction, which I'll probably take it back over to the post vise to be able to get the right angle. Not real happy with the way it kicks all the way down. I kind of want to swoop up just a little bit on the top half here. So I'm going to try to do that over the horn and then still get that same flare down. See how it goes. little better. Probably it for this heat. Woo. Might have just gotten that too hot. Almost. All right, we're looking really good. So what I talked about before, inverting the eye, right now the eye is facing the wrong direction internally. The angles need to be this way. Look at the drift. The angles need to be this way in order to grab onto that wood handle. Right now it's flipped. Right now it faces like this, just so I could drift it a little easier. So I need to invert that, and then I think it'll be time to go to the grinder. That is money. To get one more little drift drop there. All right, so one of the really cool things about copper is that the heat treat process is completely reversed from steel, from what most people know. So I just brought this up to temp, dunked it in a bucket of water, and now this is as soft as it could possibly be. Kind of cool. All right, so off camera, we cleaned it up a little bit more. We ran up all the way through just like a blue Scotch-Brite belt, and this is where we're at. Pretty good looking little axe head. There are some deep hammer marks here that I could have taken out, but I really like this profile, and I don't really want to mess with that. Down here in the bottom of the eye, it's particularly rough, and you can see how deep that is, where if we would have taken that out, we'd be left with so little here. I don't know how well it would really grab on to a wood handle. So last step is just to handle it, but I think that might be it for now. What do you guys think? Should we put a handle on it? I mean, we've come this far, right? So, you know, the cool thing about making these little itty bitty axes is really that you get to use the scraps from your big axes to make these little itty bitty handles. So let's see here. I'm thinking something kind of like this. Huh. Oh, for real? I think that's close enough. That'll get us where we at least need to be. Alright, we got it hung. This is everybody's favorite part. Pretty sure you have to show this or there's like rioting in the streets. Oil it up. We're just going to use mineral oil on this one. Oh man. Not a bad look. So we used hickory on this handle. Haven't done a copper and hickory yet, I don't think. Yeah, I have. Just kidding. So, kind of my little signature look that I like to do is a walnut wedge and a steel flat wedge. I didn't have any small enough for this eye, and I tried to force it. So, next time will be a little bit cleaner. But for practice sake, for fun, I think this little guy looks pretty good.